I need your long essay on a single page. Yes, ma'am. When I was a college sophomore, we had this professor, Mrs. Wang, in religion studies who would act like her subject should be our top priority. Although we came from different majors, religion studies is just a filler subject needed for students in this Catholic college. She wanted us to come every meeting because attendance is a part of her grade, which was fine by me, but she would give us too many research assignments for so little time. This class is a Tuesday to Thursday one. So, if she gives us 3 research assignments on Tuesday, the outputs are expected to be submitted on Thursday same week. This started a problem on all of us since we also have a lot of things to do from major subjects, but it would be a hassle to fail a subject like this. Retaking a major subject is acceptable. Retaking a filler subject is annoying. One Tuesday, she gave us an assignment, a 4,000-word essay to be submitted on Thursday. 4,000 is a lot for us given the time frame, and that week was the week before midterms, so it gave us a hard time. But the catch, she wanted it on a single sheet of short bond paper, which is literally impossible to fit the 4,000-word essay. A classmate of mine, Nathan, asked Mrs. Wang about the single-page thing. Nathan asked if we could submit multiple pages of the essay to accommodate the 4,000-word essay she was asking us. You are all stubborn. 4,000-word essay in a single page. That's simple. Mrs. Wang was already in her early 60s that time, so I don't think she had an idea of what a compressed 4,000 word in a single page would look like when printed. In every subject, we have a FB group for announcements, discussions between classmates and note sharing. In some subjects, the teacher was usually the admin of the group, but since Mrs. Wang is not too fond of FB, one of our classmates volunteered to create a group for us. The night before the submission, we were having a problem with our outputs. Some classmates who were done with the essay tried to print their outputs. The font was too small, even though the margin was already adjusted. Here comes the malicious compliance. Nathan, who was still a little pissed about the whole situation, posted a status on our group. Let's give her what she wants. 4,000 words in a single page. The comments were blowing up. Some commented they were thinking of the same and others were laughing. That time, the ha 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 reaction button wasn't still a thing, so literal ha 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 were filling up the comments. The next day, we were all excited about our plan. One by one, we placed our papers on her table. As she was scanning on some papers, she went ballistic. Why are the words in these too small? Nathan raised his hand. Ma'am, you were clear about a 4,000-word essay on a single page. That's what it looks like. Mrs. Wang couldn't contain her anger. She realized she was wrong. Instead of apologizing, she just told us to reprint our outputs and submit them on Tuesday next week. We all agreed. TLDR, professor insists on a 4,000-word essay on a single sheet of paper. Students happily complied. Edit, to those who are curious about Mrs. Wang, here's a summary. Aside from giving multiple repetitive assignments every single week, Mrs. Wang was not the most pleasant professor. Her traditional outlook in life and style of teaching was, there was one time, she saw my classmate who dyed her hair red, not totally red, but a natural looking red, and commented that Satan likes to prey on people who color their hair. Another time she claimed that some religions are bogus and cults and they prey on the devil. And although she didn't really say it, I think she didn't like non-Catholics. She would emphasize on doing the sign of the cross every time because it wards off the devil around. My favorite line of hers was when she was late during one of our sessions, instead of apologizing, she just said better be late than never. But she would get annoyed if we were late. So yeah, it felt like a celebration outsmarting her one time. Now to the comments. I had a filler class like that, but it was only 1 credit. Got there the first day and they handed out the requirements for the semester, that were double of what my 3 to 4 credit classes were. I went to the admin office and dropped it that day. Seriously, some teachers need to get over themselves and realize that their 1 to 2 credit classes aren't the only thing that their students are doing. Ducking this. Why is my part-time class of 1 or 2 credits requiring so much more work and detailed work at that? Duck nutrition. Why do I need to do a minimum of 15 slides on PP, about the ducking macronutrients, and go into so much depth and detail about where and how they are absorbed, their mechanisms, what they ate that night and their favorite color? It was massively insane. Yet, my pharmacology class was fill out these drug cards. What do these types of drugs react with? Seriously, the level of detail and information in an entry-level nursing program is ridiculous. Give me the basics, and if I want to know how they mate and their specific mating calls for bonds and how they bond and the billion different levels of sugars, and why it's a sugar, and the Latin meaning behind it, I would become a dietitian. I hold a bachelor's of science in nursing. 90% of the shit they taught us in college is totally not applied to real-world nursing. I seriously think they make it so insane to weed out people. In this situation, this is exactly what you do. Follow directions. Let her worry if she has a microscope or not. OP replied. Thanks. What happened when you reprinted? Was it still too small or did you print multiple pages? 4,000 words in 2 days is the most ducked up shit I ever heard, lol. OP replied. It was hard. I think this one had a bigger impact on our grade, like an exam, than most of our assignments, but it was still challenging to finish them on 2 days. It's crazy that's allowed by the university. If we were told to submit 4,000 words in that time, everyone would complain and the deadline would be pushed back. Sorry you had to deal with that. Sounds like some incompetence at a higher level on top of hers if that was allowed to fly. When I was junior high, I had a teacher state that our essays needed to be attached, meaning the paper. I couldn't find a stapler, so I printed it using my old dot matrix printer, and handed in a scroll. My teacher wasn't amused. Winner right here. Reducing font size is the only obvious way to accomplish this and still write something intelligible. As a teacher, I can confidently say that some people should seriously reconsider their career choice. 4,000 words in 2 days and so confidently insisting she was right, just makes me sick how some people use teaching positions to just exercise power over those under them. From the title, I thought this was going to involve a long piece of paper rolled up like a scroll. I just tried this in Word and it's indeed really small. 4,000 word paper to write and it was like 11 pages, so when you compress it into one, you definitely need a magnifying glass to read it. OP replied. Right. It was funny because we tried to save it by adjusting the margins, I think 0.5 all sides, and it looked like no change was made. Good on you for this, MC. She deserved it. She clearly didn't have much respect for her class. Maybe she meant 4,000 characters. OP replied. Maybe she did, but that time she was adamant about 4,000 words. Aside from Nathan, some of us tried to ask her a few times before she got mad at us for not getting the instruction quickly. Man, what a top-tier teacher with such unwavering patience / sarcasm. How stupid would this person have to be to not realize 4,000 words don't fit on a single page of paper with normal font size and spacing? Presumably a college professor has written many papers, articles, perhaps a thesis or dissertation, etc. They should be very familiar with how long a 4,000 word document should be, at least approximately. WTF. Sometimes I wonder how these PhDs get themselves dressed and to work each day. This sounds like almost every college professor I have had to deal with. I live close to a university and have dealt with the professors, and TAs, not only on campus, not a student but delivery of products, but also working in their houses on HVAC systems. The entitlement they have outweighs even that of the worst Karen the stories could ever create. They are literally brainwashed that they are above the common person and know more than the experts in that field. I have a buddy that works IT at a university. One of his favorite lines is, "These are college professors. We're not talking about smart people."